Mae Sai, Thailand. It began as a misadventure by 12 boys and their soccer coach in a flood-prone northern Thai cave, which soon seemed destined to end in tragedy. It turned into a nearly 3-week-long story of survival, international collaboration and triumph over the impossible, one that was avidly embraced and followed live across the world. An undated handout photo released by the Royal Thai Navy on June 30 shows a group of Thai Navy divers in the Tham Luang cave during rescue operations in Chiang Rai, Thailand. A team of cave divers rescued the last of the boys and their coach Tuesday from deep inside the warren of underground passages near Thailand's border with Burma, one of Southeast Asia's more remote regions, Thai Navy SEAL via Getty Images. A team of cave divers rescued the last of the boys and their coach Tuesday from deep inside the warren of underground passages near Thailand's border with Burma, one of Southeast Asia's more remote regions. One by one, the divers brought the final 4 members of the Wild Boars team and their coach out of the flooded Tham Luang cave. How they did it was a mix of trial and error, improvisation, skill, massive water pumps, kilometers of guide rope and strategically placed air tanks along the 3-kilometer-long escape route, much of it submerged. Article continued. It took 10 days for rescuers to even find the boys, then nearly a week before the rescue could begin. One diver died while preparing the evacuation. The other rescuers, laden with scuba gear, carried the boys, who could not swim and wore full face masks, as they squeezed through flooded crevices that would challenge the most seasoned divers. The final trek to freedom took 4 hours or more per child. We are not sure if this is a miracle, or science, or what, the Thai Navy SEALs posted on their Facebook page. All the 13 wild boars are now out of the cave. The rescue of the wild boars touched a global nerve, an uplifting counterpoint to the wars, atrocities, ethnic conflicts and crises afflicting countries like Syria, South Sudan and Yemen, not to mention closer to home in Burma and in Thailand itself, where there is a long-running war near the southern border. For many people around the world, Thailand's extraordinary operation to save 12 boys and their coach was a welcome contrast to the images of the United States separating immigrant children from their parents and locking them up. We have done something that no one expected that we could complete, Chiang Rai Governor Narongsak Osatanakorn, Center, said on Tuesday. It was an impossible mission, Yang 2, Getty Images. The 5 wild boars who emerged Tuesday were immediately taken by ambulance and helicopter to a hospital in Chiang Rai, the nearest large city, and were to be placed in quarantine with the 8 boys rescued Sunday and Monday. They were expected to stay for about a week in quarantine, where family members who once feared they were dead can see them through a window. Article continued. Among the last to emerge from the cave was the boars' 25-year-old soccer coach, Ekapul Shantawong, who helped the boys stay alive by conserving their energy during the 10 days before aid arrived. Family members and friends were predictably ecstatic over the news that everyone was finally safe. Hundreds of millions of others around the world cheered with them. It was 18 days but it felt like years, said Pravath Jadianukarn, the abbot at a temple in the town of Mae Sai where Ekapul works. Read more. Thai soccer team survived grueling ordeal by drinking water dripping into cave. All 12 boys, coach rescued from Thai cave, ending grueling 18-day ordeal. How a 25-year-old former monk kept the Thai soccer team alive. The abbot's eyes welled. I'm so happy, but it's not just for Ek and the team, he said. The whole world has been watching over these 18 days, and they are celebrating with us. At a packed news conference after the rescue, the chief of the operation, Narongsak Osatanakorn, was visibly pleased. We have done something that no one expected that we could complete, he said. It was an impossible mission. Also making their way out of the cave were 4 Thai divers, an army doctor and 3 members of the Thai Navy SEALs, who had stayed in the cave with the boars for more than a week after they were found, and helped them prepare for their underwater escape. Narongsak said that all 4 divers were healthy after 8 days underground. They are expected to join the wild boars and Ekapul in quarantine. However, because of the fear of infection, this morning, I promised to take 9 people out. Narongsak said. We're a success now. Tham Luang Cave, about 3 kilometers from the border with Burma, is the bed of an underground river that flows during the monsoon season. The cave also is a maze of passageways and chambers, with side routes and dead ends that make it formidable to navigate, especially when filled with water. Just reaching the cabin where the group ultimately took refuge was a feat even for the most skilled searchers. The wild boars and their coach entered the cave after their soccer practice June 23, a week before the rainy season generally begins. But a heavy rain started falling and the cave complex quickly began to fill with water, forcing them deeper into the maze to avoid drowning. Narongsak, then the governor of Chiang Rai province, began organizing a search, a task that he later said seemed hopeless. Nonetheless, Narongsak and other officials threw themselves into it. They mobilized dozens of members of the Thai Navy SEALs, hundreds of soldiers, volunteers and workers from 20 government agencies. Leaders of the operation tried every approach they could devise. Some failed, such as searching for a back door to the cave or drilling holes from the mountain above in the hope of lifting the boys out. But two made a big difference, installing massive pumps to drain water from the cave and building an improvised dam to keep floodwaters from flowing in. This handout video grab, taken from footage released by the Thai Government Public Relations Department (PRD), shows members of the Wild Boars football team being treated at a hospital in Chiang Rai. Handout 2 helped the members of the Navy SEALs, who had little experience in cave diving. Search leaders turned to a group of highly skilled foreign cave divers, a rare breed of explorer. The boys and their coach were finally found July 2 by two British divers who were extending guidelines into the cave. One diver, John Volondan, reached the end of his line, fastened it in the mud and emerged from the water to find 13 pairs of eyes staring at him. The boys, having no idea of the international fixation over their plight, were surprised to learn that the diver was from Britain. Had Volondan's line been 15 feet shorter, he would most likely have missed them. Boys requested food and asked whether they could leave right away. But that operation would take another 6 days to start, and 2 more before all were evacuated. The 4 Thai divers stayed with them, nursing them back to health and feeding them a high-protein diet. Officials said that extracting the boys through the treacherous underwater passageways would be more difficult than finding them. Few, if any, of the boys knew how to swim, much less use diving gear. Ultimately, the rescue officials concocted a plan to have small teams of divers bring out the boys by holding them under their bodies as they swam. The boys wore full face masks, rather than scuba gear, to make it easier for them to breathe underwater. A successful rescue depended on positioning a supply of air tanks along the route they would take. All 12 boys and their soccer coach, from the Thai Wild Boar team, have been rescued from a flooded cave in northern Thailand, ending an 18-day ordeal that riveted people around the world. The Associated Press: disaster struck early Friday when a volunteer diver, Saman Gunn, 38, a former member of the Thai Navy SEALs, lost consciousness and died as he returned from putting air tanks in place. "I call him the hero of Tham Luang Cave," Narongsak said. On the first 2 days of the rescue, 18 divers, 13 foreigners and 5 Thai, took part, bringing out 4 boys each time. On the final day, at least 12 divers took part. In the end, the final rescue part of the mission took just under 9 hours, starting from the time the divers entered the cave to the time they had emerged with all 4 boys and Ekapol. "I would like to say thank you to His Majesty and royal family to support us," Narongsak said. "I am thankful for all support from Thai people and all around the world." The last 4 Thai Navy SEALs giving a thumbs up after exiting safely from the Tham Luang Cave early on Wednesday. Handout: some members of the Thai Navy SEALs stayed near the cave at quarters in Mae Sai. By the end, scuba gear, boxes of instant noodles and wet towels were strewn all around. One member of the SEALs said that the operation might have looked easy from the graphics in newspapers, but that it was tough. They worked 12-hour days at a minimum and returned to quarters exhausted. Nang Nong Naman, a weaver by trade who has been cooking hundreds of meals a day for the SEAL team as a volunteer, was elated by the successful rescue. "Now I can sleep peacefully," she said. I'm so relieved. The first confirmation that all 13 were finally safe came from the SEAL team with a post on their Facebook page shortly before 7 p.m. 12 boars and coach are out of the cave, they announced. Everyone is safe, the Facebook post concluded.